Yo, what's good guys, Kurama Gaming here, bringing you guys for another top 10 season 3 video. Well, that came out wrong, season 3 top 10, my bad. And I know it's been a while since I've done one of these. It's been I think 2 weeks maybe since I've done one because I've been busy with all other stuff and that. But today we're going to be bringing you top 10 Naruto fights, my favorite Naruto fights that is. So there'll be different ones to what you guys think. So if you want to leave your own little top 10 of your favorite Naruto fights, leave them down in the comments down below. But without further ado, let's get on with the top 10. And at number 10, we have a fight from the Naruto Classics. We have Rock Lee versus Gaara. Now this fight was probably my favorite one from the original Naruto Classics. The rest of the fights I say were all from Shippuden, but this one is the only one that I really enjoyed from the Classics. I liked Naruto versus Gaara, I liked Sasuke versus Gaara, and obviously my computer has come up with bloody messages right now. But as I was saying, I really liked all the other fights, but this fight really stood out to me because it was the first seriously good fight. Now actually I take that back, the Zabuza fight I suppose, but this one was an actual full on good fight. Like Gaara was just didn't give a shit. He was fighting like he didn't care or anything. Rocky was trying his hardest to literally win. It was just such a memorable fight, man. My favorite fight from the Naruto Classics. But from here on out, no more classics from the Naruto, the original Naruto. Sorry. Time to move on to Shippuden. And we move on to number 9, and this one is a more sad and it hurts my heart. This fight, Jiraiya versus Pain. Now that really hurt because Jiraiya, not only did Jiraiya unfortunately lose his life on that fight, it was his final fight, and not only that, he had to fight his own students. Like Konan was his student, Nagato, who had somehow possessed all these corpses, are his students, and obviously Yahiko, who was possessed by Nagato's Rinnegan, or his corpse, shall I say, his puppet corpse, what do you want to call it, was also his student. So ironically, he died to all 3 of his students, and it was really sad on top of that, man. It was such a sad fight. It was his final fight, but for his final fight, he gave his absolute best, man. Jesus Christ. I was sad when he died. I literally cried so much when Jiraiya died. It was such a sad fight, man. But to have taken out at least 3 of them, that is something to behold, man. Jesus Christ. Like, no one in the Elite Village could take out all 6, apart from Naruto, obviously, I suppose, but still. That was just a really good fight in my opinion. It hurt me a lot, but it's one of the more sadder fights. But now let's get off this sad note and move to another more exciting fight. Okay guys, this fight is a bit more different to all the other ones. This is the only one in which I have two characters fighting one, I suppose. But we have excuse me. We have Naruto God damn my voice. We have Naruto and Kurama in their first linked form, in their fully linked form, versus the Tail Beasts. Now I really enjoyed this fight. I thought it was really interesting on how this fight went down. Naruto and Kurama finally formed a bond. They're finally acting as friends now. Well, not acting. They finally become friends, should I say? And they're fully linked. It's their first fight as fully linked. So it was an amazing fight as well. It was versus 5 or 6. I can't remember how many Tail Beasts it was. I think it was maybe 5 or 6. I can't remember. But still, it was against all of those Tail Beasts. It was such a badass fight, man. And on top of that, Kakashi had a little vision that he thought he saw Minato, his sensei, but it was actually Naruto, and that was a really cool thing, man. That actually showed how much Naruto had grown as a ninja, how far he's gone. But guys, we move on to now number 7, which is a more another sad fight in my opinion. Okay guys, for number 7 we have Kakashi versus Obito. Now this one was a fairly more sad fight because it's 2 best friends going up against each other. Obito had just been brought down to the wrong path. He was brought from the light into the darkness by Madara, and on top of that, Kakashi was feeling the same until he was saved by literally all the people around him, I suppose. But this fight, man, it was so sad because Kakashi says there's no other choice. I must offer you death. When I played through that fight in Stormfall, man, it was really sad, man. Oh my god, I thought it was it just made me so sad, this fight, man, because there was 2 friends going up against each other, and in the end, when Kakashi had thought he had won, Obito just said, you know what, I'm gonna dip, and I'm gonna come back for you later. So literally, man, it's just Jesus Christ, man, it just puts a hole in your heart, man, seeing 2 good friends fight. Well, they were good friends until all this shit with Reen happened, man. Jesus Christ, love triangle. Why don't you say it? Oh, suppose not, but still. Anyway, let's move on to number 6. Okay, and at number 6 we have a more memorable fight. We did mention Pain in the last, like number 9 top 10, should I say? Number 9 in the top 10. I can't speak for God's sake. But yeah, this fight is Naruto versus Pain. This one was a really good fight, man. Naruto was not going up against one Pain, but all 6 of them. It was like, he took one of them out so easily, like the puppet one I think it was, I can't remember, man. I literally watched all his fights back to see which ones were like really good. But still, man, this one was another like really good memorable fight. Like two of Jiraiya students, sorry, were going up against each other. Jesus Christ, because Jiraiya taught Minato to become the 4th Hokage. He taught this guy Pain, or Yahiko and Nagato, and Konan, I suppose. And he was currently teaching Naruto before he died, unfortunately. But this fight was so good. Like, Naruto had finally mastered Sage mode. Like it was literally 2 sages going up against each other, because you can technically count like Pain as like maybe the 2nd sage of 6 bars. I don't know if you want to really count now. I don't know. He didn't really have gained like the full powers of the sage of 6 bars, because he didn't have. Actually, no, he wasn't Uzumaki. I take that back, because Yahiko was not Yahiko. Nagato was Uzumaki. I take that back. Yeah, I completely forgot he was. But still, this was a really good fight, man. It was a sad one too, because we saw Hinata get beaten down. We saw Naruto beating his father. We literally saw him go into Naito's rage state mode. Jesus Christ, man. This was a really good fight, man, in my honesty. I wanted to put it higher, but there are fights that were much better than this one. And now, let's move on to the midway point, shall we? And now, guys, we finally reached the midway point of this top 10. And this one was most likely expected to come up. Madara versus Rama. Now, this one was a really good one, because it's literally like the Naruto and Sasuke fights, or the rival fight, we could say. Kakashi versus Obito, that's another good example. Like, it's a really good example, because these two are sworn rivals and sworn enemies. The Uchihas and the Senjus have been sworn enemies since like the stage of 6 past days. Jesus Christ. And now this one was a really good fight. This was a battle of gods. Jesus Christ! And I don't care. You can count some of these other fights that are coming up later on a battle of gods, but this one I would say was a battle of gods, because these two are powerful, man. And they could destroy an entire nation if they wanted to, if they were both working on the same side, man. Jesus Christ, man. This fight was just too powerful. When I first played for it on Storm 4, it was an amazing fight. It was the first episode of Storm 4 as well. It was just mad, man. I can't believe it. That fight was completely mental, man. They fought countless times, but that final fight they had when Madara came back to the village to destroy it and supposedly died, I suppose you could say. But seriously, man, that was a really good fight, man. But now let's move on to number 4. Okay, guys, we are approaching into the top 3, but we are now at number 4 though. We have the 2 brothers themselves, Sasuke versus Itachi. Now this fight was a very also a very memorable one, because Sasuke for the longest time has been wanting to get revenge on his older brother for killing his entire clan and betraying the Leaf Village. But yeah, not what Itachi didn't know, that he made his brother go rogue and it turned him into an antagonist, a bad guy basically. But still, this fight was really memorable, because Itachi was literally fighting. It wasn't even an actual fight. He gave half of his power to Naruto, so that way in case that Sasuke took his eyes, he could bring Sasuke back to the good side, I suppose. But seriously, man, this was just an amazing fight. 2 brothers going against each other. These 2 could be counted as rivals as well, man. This was a really good fight. I don't care what anyone says. People wouldn't give it as much praise compared to all the other fights, but I really love this fight, because it was a battle between 2 brothers. You could consider them rivals if you wanted to, but literally it's like a brotherly rivalry they had to solve. It's a battle to the death they wanted to do. I felt quite upset when Itachi died, because he was one of my favourite characters at the time, but damn, man, this fight was great. But now we're going into the top 3. Okay, guys, at number 3, and I do have to apologise for showing you a blurry picture of this fight, but at number 3 we have Team 7 versus Kaguya. I think I'm pronouncing that right, Kaguya, I'm pretty sure that's right, but still, this fight was completely insane, man. Unfortunately, they couldn't show Kakashi in this image, unfortunately, because Kakashi finally had unlocked the perfect Susanoo. Well, could say that, but I don't know. Ow, crap, I just hit my bloody hand on my keyboard. My bad, guys, but still. back onto the fight. This was a really good fight as well, man. I was trying to decide whether to put Sasuke versus Itachi after this fight, because I wanted to put this one at number 4, but this one was slightly better, because literally you have a battle of gods aside from Sakura, because Sakura is nowhere near a god. Nowhere near a god. It's completely trash. You have Naruto and Sasuke, and I suppose you can count Kakashi, because Obito gave his 6 paths power to Kakashi, I suppose, but whatever you say, it don't really matter, but still. Literally, it was a battle of gods, man. Jesus Christ, man. I can't believe it, man. This fight, man. The originator of Chakra versus 3 random, or if you want to count Kakashi, 4 random people in this. Jesus, man. It's just too much. I can't find words to describe it. It's like too much. Like, some of the fight was completely hilarious. Like Naruto's sexy no jutsu, like in the middle of it was hilarious. And then the struggle to find Sasuke and bring him back to the fight. And then Naruto was battling on his own, and then, oh my god, it was getting so good. And then Obito finally decided to help out, and then the sad thing is Obito had to die in this fight. That was a really sad one, man. Jesus Christ, man. But, oh boy, and Obito was one of my favorite characters as well. Jesus Christ, man, that hurt my feelings when Obito died. For real, that time, but still. Let's move on to number 2, which is probably going to be my favorite fight. My favorite fight, but I put something else above that one. So let's move on, shall we? Now guys, this fight was completely off the bloody roof. Number 2 is Guy versus Madara 6-path form. Jesus Christ, so the 8 gates guy, should I say. Now this fight got my bloody head tingling. It got everything tingling, man. I was trying to anticipate who's going to win this fight, because Madara is clearly unstoppable. He gained the power of a god. But Jesus Christ, man. Guy broke his bloody, his back. And he just regenerated, cut Madara in half, still alive somehow. But Jesus Christ, man, I can't believe it, man. This fight was just too much. Just too much. If you want to talk about a fight that was too much, this is the fight that you have to be talking about. I do not care what people say. This is my favorite fight. But of course, there has to be one above this one. This is my favorite fight in my opinion. But for the fandom, I'm going to have to move on to number 1 now if you want to see it. But this fight overall, I'm just going to finish speaking about this one. It was just great. I have nothing to say about this one. Guy could take out the entire the 5 Kage by himself if he wanted to. He almost took out a god. If Madara didn't have regenerating powers, he would have taken him out. He would have taken him out, and he would still be able to be a ninja, I suppose. But unfortunately, he's only got 1 leg, so unfortunate. But anyway, we're gonna have to move on to the more predictable fight now. So or the more predictable number 1. So let's move on to it before I keep you guys waiting any longer. Okay, guys, for the culture and for the fandom, of course, the number 1 fight has to go to Naruto versus Sasuke, the final battle. Now, this fight, I didn't want to put at number 1, but because a lot of people enjoy this fight, like anytime Naruto and Sasuke fight, I always find it to like be super long, because their fights last forever, Jesus Christ. But I also find it to be super exciting, Jesus Christ, like, because of course they're the 2 main characters, but their fights just go beyond like excitement. It goes like heart attack sort of excitement. Like, anyone who were to watch like the final battle between these 2 would actually like cry because of what's happening. Jesus Christ, man. But to be honest, I wanted to put Madara versus Guy at the top, but this fight was just infinity better, light years better. But the only reason I didn't put Guy versus Madara like number 1 is because that fight was so short. It was fairly short. It lasted 2 episodes, that fight. Like, the first episode like was already half the fight gone, and then we had like a break to explain like why Naruto and Sasuke got these 6-path powers. And then they ended the fight with it took so long to restart the fight again. So I was thinking, oh, what the hell, man? This is going to be it had the potential to be so much better, but still. This fight went from 1 to 100 in like, in seconds, just like that. I can't find words to express my feelings about this fight. But guys, that it's just, I had to put it at the top. This one at the top. It's for the culture, man. For the bloody culture. Okay, guys, that's gonna be it for this top 10, unfortunately. But if you do disagree with any of the fights I've made or choices I made on what positions, because I sort of do disagree with a few of them, but I had to put Naruto versus Sasuke for number 1 for the culture, man. You know how it is. They're the 2 main characters, so people probably might completely disagree with me, but I actually thoroughly enjoyed that fight. It's not that I didn't like it. I just wanted to put that one at number 2, but I didn't want to do that because of the culture. You know how it is. But yeah, next week we're gonna probably have another top 10 like this. We're probably gonna have top 10 fairy tale fights. So yeah, we have top 10 Naruto fights in this week's top 10. So next week we're most likely going to have top 10 Fairy Tail fights. So you have that to look forward to. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed. I'm Kurama Gaming, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.